Hey there guys, it's your good pal Wiggly, and welcome back to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Blind. In the last episode, we started off the game playing as Mia Fey defending Phoenix Wright of all people, and in this episode it seems like we're going to be heading into the second half of the trial and cross-examining one Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, who is not only related to this case, but potentially a case from Mia's past as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Man, what a gripping first case. I am super invested in this already, just from the outset. I mean, there's two games of context to help it, but like, wow.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness.
This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand.
Okay. There she is. I really like her design. Oh yeah, you're not sketchy at all. What's with this stiff silence?
In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity.
Okay. I can't believe he actually said that. Payne, are you okay?
Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name?
Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous.
If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size.
And I will bash them with my gavel.
I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Well, what the hell?
Thank you for calming my nerves. You are all so nice. I almost feel right at home.
Not at all.
It was nothing.
If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
Good. I don't trust her one bit, man. Oh my god.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine.
Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the... Why is that in the dialogue? Oh my god.
Sir?
Is there something I can help you with?
You just go on and say whatever is on your mind.
I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake.
Feeny wouldn't kill any... Feeny. Thank God Maya doesn't call him that.
I just know it.
Yes. I can see why you'd say that.
She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger.
Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please.
Okay, Dahlia. What do you got?
I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie,
They were all talking... They were talking behind the building.
Then, suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed.
But Phoenix said he pushed him.
That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities.
This completely contradicts Phoenix's statement.
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it's my job to discover the truth.
I don't believe you, by the way.
Please tell us the truth.
But I would never...
Oh. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue.
What do you mean by that?
Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies.
You haven't changed a bit.
Really, you know her.
Mia Fey.
What's this? So, you two are acquainted?
Yes, we've met before. Once. Ah, okay. The way her eyes are shaded, especially. Something about her eyes make me really uncomfortable.
In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madam Fey.
Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. Oh boy. And you never will be. Oh no. That's horrible. I'm sorry. I've been planning to go back to Feeney's place after class was over. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese senryu poetry.
Oh, how wonderful. It's that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes? How do you know that?
Nothing left to do when a man reaches this age. Sleep is his best friend. Yeah, that's supposed to be a poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area.
Oh, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors.
How else would you enter? Teleportation? I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Feeney and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. So who is this Dougie person? Teach me how. Oh, I'm sorry, Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? Oh, good lord. I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined.
That's right, Miss Fay.
Don't drag the witness down to your level.
Why am I being demonized here?
Let's get used to it. It's always the defense. Please, go on. What did you see next?
Then suddenly Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim, is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeney never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now?
There's gotta be a contradiction, right? Like, how would he fall on his own umbrella? Right? Or just...
This just says the victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when it happened.
Yeah.
Like, Phoenix's whole testimony in general, though, contradicts this. He admitted to pushing, so... Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never...
Miss Fay, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting...
Oh, you're getting the fucking death glare pain.
Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job.
No then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. Yeah, there is that. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did in fact push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth.
There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw.
Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Okay. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie.
Okay.
You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground.
And at that time, there was only the two of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow.
Yes, that's right. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either. How on earth... How did you not see Phoenix push him, but you saw him fall? Like, Phoenix's hand would still be out. That doesn't make any sense, lady. Okay, I mean, I guess we'll just keep pressing. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge.
Oh, I'd like the sound of that, Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony.
Good lord. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department?
Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs.
Please try to stay on topic. So, to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct?
That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going.
A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow, they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on? I mean, yeah, let's press that too. But how could the students have known what was going on?
Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened.
It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. It doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info about the students.
So did the students call the police?
Yes. I was so panicked.
Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear.
That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one. Okay. I mean, I didn't see the moment he pushed. Like, that's so weird. There was a loud sound. Well, that's not the moment that he pushed Dougie. That's the moment that Dougie... Why am I calling him Dougie? That's the moment that Mr. Swallow fell. Okay. I didn't hear anything unusual. Okay. I was so focused on this statement that I didn't even think about the statement that came right after. That's my own fault. Okay. No, there was a loud sound. There it is. I got it now. Okay. I was stumped there for a minute. I was looking through my court record and I was like, what? How am I supposed to prove that that's a contradiction? I don't know what she saw, but then... Okay, there we go. You say you didn't hear anything unusual, is that correct?
Yes, that's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me.
That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise.
He said that?
If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well?
Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable.
But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression.
May I have a moment to answer?
By all means.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise.
Do you now?
You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet.
Okay.
So the sky continued to flash and rumble.
Thunder and lightning, huh?
Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder,
so I put my headphones on to block it out.
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all.
Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. There was lightning. Yeah, I see. Your Honor, there's a problem with the witness's testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct?
Yes, what about it?
Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right?
Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Fay.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? I love this song.
I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me.
Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? That's a fantastic question, to be honest. This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was in fact the victim of a stray bolt. It's possible.
It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental?
Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you don't. What?
Hee 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 hee. I heard that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay.
Huh?
I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location.
How do you know? What?
What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne. Well, what is this evidence?
This affidavit.
And who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout? Oh, well, great.
All the lab's equipment run on high voltage, Your Honor.
So you're saying the equipment lost power because...
Precisely. They lost power because of a severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
Well... Why is his watch at, like, 3:05? We need to figure that out still.
Which fits the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable.
Okay.
According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
Well, what the why? At Ivy University? On 4/9 at 2:55 p.m. That's not what you said. There's a 10-minute gap now.
However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Fay, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of a severed cable?
Your Honor, Oh. I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion.
Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
It was... Doug Swallow being pushed, right? This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
Well, Your Honor?
I believe that the only thing that has snapped...
Okay, no? One more chance. Okay, I'm not getting penalized, so that's nice. Wasn't he pushed into the light pole? Like, this... It looks like he was pushed into the light pole, right? I don't really have anything else to present about it, though. Phoenix? Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony.
The defendant's testimony?
He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct?
Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that...
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right into Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Okay, I just presented the wrong thing. I was on the right track.
Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
What's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. Yeah, it's pretty far away from that cable. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break.
Well, that makes sense, and then the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. True, and there was only one other person at the scene.
Order in the court.
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them.
It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have done it.
Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them.
What the? Okay.
Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge?
Oh my god. Come on.
Of course it's all right. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony.
This is it.
She's finally starting to show her true colors. Alright, what do you got, Dahlia?
The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice.
What?
The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him, but Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind.
I don't believe that.
The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute.
Okay.
So, after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away.
And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time.
I'm so sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay, I think I know what to do here, maybe? Maybe. Alright. Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie.
I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Feeney.
So that's why you basically lied to the court?
I was a bad girl. I know. Mr. Judge?
Yes?
Would you please forgive little old me?
Oh my god, I hate her. Of course he won't. What you did is called perjury.
Oh, come now. It was just a little old white lie. We'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, all right?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge. Good God.
Not at all.
The judge had better be more careful himself. A dark alley is friendlier than that girl. Beware, Your Honor. Come on. What is that trophy? You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole.
I know he doesn't look it, but Feeney can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be.
Oh, really?
But I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Feeney really is scary when he gets mad.
Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed.
Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him.
But Feeney caught up and crashed in behind. Okay. So let me get this straight. You were happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched this scene unfold?
What?
Yeah. Miss Fay, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness.
I wasn't happy. I was scared. I was so scared that I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on.
What do you mean cheer them on? Cheer them on? What do you mean by that?
Well, I wish the best for them both, and that they would
each give the fight their all.
That's very sweet of you to be so supportive.
And what happened after that?
But Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind.
That doesn't sound quite right. There were handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints found on the back of his leather jacket?
Well, no, there weren't.
Madam Fay, may I suggest that you listen a little more carefully? I said that he crashed into him from behind, right? My Feeney wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he?
Okay. It all occurred in less than a minute. This is the suspicious statement. Did you actually witness the moment when the victim was electrocuted?
I'm sorry. I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away.
That's understandable.
Yes, indeed. It would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold.
If I don't figure out... Okay. She didn't have much time to come up with this with her lie, so this is my best chance. There must be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia. Okay. I'm pretty sure I got it. It definitely did not occur in less than a minute. Because, 2:55 p.m. and 3:05 p.m. Can't be right. Yeah, baby, let's go.
That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeney likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m.
Yes, and your point is, Miss Fay?
My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Yeah!
Would you care to explain this to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? What exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? Gotcha. The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. After Phoenix left.
This is nonsense. The real murderer?
Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for.
Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it?
There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene. Was there a window of opportunity for the real killer?
Miss Fay, is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer?
Oh boy. It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor. We are ready.
Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Fay. Now then, Miss Fay, let's have it. Who is the real killer?
Well, there was only one other person there. It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne.
What? How can you... The defense is grasping at straws.
10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. That's right.
Order! Order! Miss Fay! What? I mean, why? That is to say...
Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death with your very own by your very own hands.
How can you say something so mean, Madam Fay? I didn't do anything.
Miss Fay, this is a very serious charge you are... Oh, Phoenix!
Your Honor! Please, I have something I want to say! Achoo!
You? What is it?
Please strike everything from the defense said just now from the record. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Fay. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that.
Phoenix, my man, come on. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man.
Ah! Achoo, achoo. Leave my Dolly alone! That boy. Oh, it's Grossberg, not... My bad.
He's gotten himself in way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back.
It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Okay. A report on the incident 8 months ago. Can I read it? Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Okay. Incident overview. Location, District Courthouse Cafeteria, August 27th, 4 p.m. Victim, Diego Armando, age 28, occupation lawyer. Suspect, Dahlia Hawthorne, age 19. Details. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Well, this sure looks like a little bottle. Okay. I'm piecing things together.
Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person because she gave it to Phoenix. Yeah. It is unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. Okay.
You'd better take a good look at it. It, details how you came to lose your boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor, May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. Go right ahead. Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie?
Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, but please, go ahead.
How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear.
Oh, I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be.
I don't know. The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally met. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne.
Further testimony? What about,
sorry. About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant. Am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests, in fact, she had a very good reason.
Very well, then. The court grants the defense's request. I can't read today. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. Okay, we're going deep. Okay. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey, we literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Whatever, Phoenix.
Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court.
And now we enter the final act of our little drama.
As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her.
You can still say that. Alright. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow?
Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly, I'm ashamed of myself.
No, not at all. Look at me. I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have been taken to calling me Judge Fickle.
I mean, yeah, you deserve it. Maybe you should look for a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judgini. Okay.
It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The courthouse's reading room? That's a strange place to meet the love of your life.
That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Feeny was
not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room?
This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Faye, I'm warning you. If this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case...
I have to remember. The judge is on Dahlia's side. I better tread carefully. We can keep pressing. Your Honor, if you'll allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony.
Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room?
If it pleases your honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. Okay. You were writing a paper on what? On the relationship between modern sendu poetry and the criminal underworld. Well, how would you find that in the courthouse reading room?
Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea.
Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff?
Mia, what did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear, so be sure to read it carefully.
Okay. I don't feel like any of this is important. So, you're lying right now. You came to the courthouse because you were a suspect. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason? What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Fay? 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy?
Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned?
The name of the suspect is in that... Oh my god. The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne. What?
Dahlia Hawthorne?
Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago.
Order! 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 Look, this is unbelievable. It's true then. The loveliest rose can hide the cruelest thorn.
Miss Fay, but that's not fair. You can't slander my witness with an unrelated case. I, Winston Payne, will not allow it. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking. Pardon me. Go right ahead. It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me.
Express some interest, huh?
Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago.
I see.
Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I've just got to stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia. Oh, you really lit a fire in my heart and in my buttocks. I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids.
Whatever, dude. I don't care. It's not a funny joke. I'm sorry. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in that cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just two teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. I got you. Okay.
So that's what happened here 8 months ago.
However, as you heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. What the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger?
Aha, Mia! You're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. That proud posture and self-confidence, absolutely smashing.
Okay. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. It's a very special kind of poison. I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. That is definitely 100% the statement. And that's the reason they didn't arrest you? Because no one could show how you could have gotten the poison? I think that's a good enough reason, Madame Fay. She's right. And I think we've all had enough of Miss Fay's questions.
So in essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was never arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison.
Then all we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some, right? Great. Now, just how did a lit student get a hold of a poison of all things? Well, it's pretty easy to figure out. She was dating a pharmacology student. You wouldn't know how to get to that kind of poison. I don't believe you.
What? In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab.
But boyfriend? You mean the victim Doug Swallow?
That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology? His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at this very table, you.
No!
Order! Could it be?
That's nothing but a baseless accusation.
May I say something, Madam Fay?
But Winston, he's just not even here. Just don't even, man.
What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. I'm way ahead of you.
Well, yes, that's true.
I was searched immediately after the incident took place.
I'm sure you were.
Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down.
But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? She's right. They even mentioned that in the report.
Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small.
Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof.
But proof? She got me good with that.
Provide some evidence or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Fay. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead.
The police conducted a full body search of Dahlia and the entire courthouse, and yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred.
If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it?
It was given to Phoenix Wright as a necklace. You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched.
Who is this person?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course.
So the defendant was this witness's accomplice?
Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present.
What? But that's...
That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Fay?
The date of the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away.
What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here?
No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. Gotcha.
No!
Order! Order in the court!
Come on, Phoenix. Man, on behalf of Dolly, I object.
Mr. Wright, control yourself.
I won't let you bully her like this.
Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat.
Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her.
Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time.
Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Oh my god, this hurts. Mr. Wright, please, open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of that necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. But you never gave it back to her. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. Oh, Phoenix. That's why she... I don't believe you. No, that's a lie! Oh, poor guy. Mia, are you alright? Oh, the defendant! He's getting away! Bailiff, hurry, after him!
Mia, are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
That boy, he went completely insane.
Where's Mr. Wright?
It looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough.
Thank goodness. Oh no!
What is it?
The bottle necklace. Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone!
What? That's terrible!
Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me.
Foolish boy. That's the only thing that could have saved him. What in blazes are we supposed to do now?
Oh, God.
Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid your apology is not good enough. Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me. I'm sorry. It's okay. Just give back the necklace. I ate it. What? What? Phoenix, no! You what?
You ate it.
Even though you knew it had trace amounts of poison and it's made of metal? Oh my god. It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first. But yeah.
What the? What? What is he doing now?
Your Honor, you gotta stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? That bottle you swallowed may have had some poison left in it. Yeah, right, exactly. What the fuck, Phoenix? You're so dumb. It seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain a deadly poison. It's just gonna have trace amounts in it, man. Shut up. How could you be so sure? I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination.
So it would seem.
No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency. There. It's all right, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Well, that's a dumb decision. Which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong.
That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Fay, I cannot accept your explanation of events.
You gotta be kidding me. But why?
This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand. But in a court of law, evidence is everything.
Ugh! Even after I prove so much, is she going to get away with everything?
Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with the trial.
Phoenix. Mr. Wright! I'm sorry, Miss Fay. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you.
What is it?
That day, the day I met Doug Swallow. That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab. Poison? The same thing that happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab at that time, too. It could only have been her. That girl is a thief. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. Okay. Is it true? Did he really say that?
That's ridiculous.
There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but I'm sorry, Dolly.
Your Honor, the defendant is...
Miss Fay, you tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. So, Dahlia stole poison 8 months ago too, huh? If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before? Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Fay. Oh, man. If you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back. Oh, therefore. Exactly who was Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill? Yikes. She's fucking terrible. There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way. And that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright. Me?
That's preposterous. After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered.
Well, it's true that that's how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was in fact you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be. But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love. Poor Mr. Wright. This must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice. I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right. The bottle necklace. That's all she cared about. But even so, why would she go so far as to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria, Dahlia Hawthorne could think only of one thing: how to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. No, it can't be. It was a pretty good move she made, too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean, that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence. That can't be true! I'm sorry, Phoenix. But I know you'll get over it. Feeny. What a joke you are. Ugh. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne? It appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine. I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. But first, where's your evidence? It seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottle as a snack. Ugh.
Hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face?
Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you?
Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now, if you don't mind.
But we're not finished.
Fine. Then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already.
Christ. She's so shitty. I can't let her get away this time. Stop, Mia. If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer.
The ultimate price?
You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid.
No. You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Fay. Or should I say, Miss Gray.
Well, Miss Fay, can you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all?
If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point, I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof. Impossible! You can't possibly... Stupid woman.
It is the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented.
Just one?
If you are unable to establish her guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright.
I understand, Your Honor. I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar. She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there.
In where? Well then, Miss Fay, please present your evidence. Show to this court irrefutable proof.
Show to this court irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright. Check these pills. Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all.
Cold Killer X. Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine.
Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold? If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned.
What?
Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. She was the one who took his bottle of Cold Killer X. Then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some. Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Doug Swallow, that was holding the medicine.
Yeah, he tried to save him. Man, what a guy.
I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence?
Huh? What are you talking about?
8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run into in the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That is when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poison bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright.
I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant.
Yes, and she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and victim were arguing about, and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug Swallow to live. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying that bottle of poison cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago? 8 months ago?
Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way she did back then. Damn. She had someone else hold it. In this case, Doug Swallow. Oh. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you? That stupid woman. She's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Huh? Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation.
I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Oh God. Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being, victory is yours. For the time being? Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge. I'll see you later too, okay?
Huh? Yes.
I'm going to go spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best. Good God. She is, like, bar none, the most aggravating, shitty person that we've ever had. Just off the bat, she's fucking awful. Oh my God. It's finally all over.
I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim.
Yes, I have.
But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it.
I don't care. I'm Winston Payne, and I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said.
Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this.
Yes?
Would you care to try this cold medicine?
What?
Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said...
There. It's all right, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life.
Yeah? So, if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right?
You see, yes.
And here comes the backpedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. I fucking love Mia. Holy cow. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life?
Yeah! But my hair, it's flying off!
And that's how it happened. Of course, the answer we were waiting for. What the fuck?
Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll file papers for her immediate arrest.
Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Shut up.
Don't lie, just admit you were wrong.
By the way, Miss Fey.
Yes, Your Honor?
Was it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other?
Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case.
Very well. Mr. Payne.
This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing to my daughter.
It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair.
Was the This is so ridiculous.
Does the defendant have anything further to say?
It can't be true. My dear Dolly.
Very well then. I believe I am ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright,
Not guilty. Woo! Oh boy. Holy cow.
This court is adjourned.
Goddamn.
Mia, you are wonderful in there.
Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg.
During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvius.
Mr. Grossberg, do you, maybe you think you could stop talking about them?
That's rather rude.
It's rude to talk about them.
Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this.
Quite possibly. Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations! Thanks. You know, I was thinking. Go on. The dolly that I saw up there on the witness stand, I don't think that was really her, my man. What? Yeah, the dolly I know could never have said those kinds of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright. For your own sake. Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But, out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up. Compared to Larry? Isn't he your only friend? I guess so. Eek, what kind of company does this guy keep? Right now, I'm starting to become a lawyer myself. That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. I see. Say, Miss Fay, a lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'll study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court. Aw. That's just great. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned, and managed to save my friend. But Mia has passed on to a better place. Oh my god. You gave her more character and made me feel even worse about it, man. Ugh. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. Aww. And memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia's gone now. But even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. 5 long years. Something has happened that's made me think back to her words of wisdom. But that is a story for another day. Is it now? Okay. God damn! Holy shit! Who is this guy? I've seen him on the cover, and I've seen art of him, but he's got like a weird laser face thing. I've seen him before. I don't know a thing about him. I'm very curious. He's on the cover, and he's like on like the splash art for the game. But yeah, a brand new episode's been added. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, if you're new here, something that I like to do, I started doing during Justice for All specifically, is that I like to gradually, as I go along, place the cases on a tier list with each other. And we're going to do that right now, of course. Turnabout Memories. I think that it is a fantastic, like, holy cow. It blows the first 2 introductional cases out of the water. It kind of cheats a little bit with having 2 games of context behind it, but I'm putting it at the top of good tier. Like above Turnabout Sisters and like Turnabout Samurai. It's at the top of that place. It is a really good case. Holy cow. I really like that they roped me in. Not only did they how do I word this? Not only did they play to the strength of being the third game and newcomers being able to come in at the same time, as well as veterans, by gripping you with the story that's already been planted on the ground, and also being an introductory case for anybody who's taken a long time and needs to kind of get the ropes again, or if this is their first game for some reason. It shouldn't be, in my opinion, but if it is, it still seems like it would be a good learning case. Dahlia Hawthorne is an excellent culprit, one of my favorites thus far. Being able to play as Mia was super cool. Literally never expected that. Getting some more backstory on Phoenix. Winston Payne kind of becoming a bit more of a character. I still don't expect to see him a whole lot, but wow. What a good foundation. I'm immediately super impressed with this game. And I'm excited to see what goes forward with episode 2 of The Stolen Turnabout. So anyway, thank you all for watching this episode of Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Blind. I've been Guildmaster Wiggly. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you want to follow my socials or join my Discord, they're in the description. And I hope to see you all in the next one when we start episode 2.